Hudson in Charlottesville, Virginia. Hudson, you're on the Ken Coleman Show.
Hey, Ken, how are you doing?
I'm living the dream, Hudson. What's going on?
Well, Ken, I work as a fundraiser, and in my organization, there is a focus on metrics and goals. And there's a number of different people in my organization that have the same title as I have. And we have the same goals, same metrics in which we're evaluated by. This past fiscal year, really performed well, top performer in my organization. This year doing well is in the fiscal year, even though it just started recently. About a week ago, our salaries were published, and it looks like I make in between 8.5% and 13.5% less than my colleagues. And so,
why were your salaries published?
So I work in higher education, and we're state employees, and so it's public data.
Oh, yes. One other reason why government's a disaster. Okay.
Yeah.
So now now you've been wounded. And you're
I think it's challenging because I know what everyone else makes, and I know how I perform and I can see their metrics as well. And we get an email to us how we're performing against our colleagues.
Oh yeah. This is no way around it. This sucks.
Yeah.
It's awful. You're walking around with a pit in your stomach. So what's your question?
My question is, so I asked for a raise this past week based off of the data that I shared with you. And then we had a performance evaluation 2 months ago. My boss said they want to do everything they could to keep me around. And so on Friday of last week, my boss came to me and said that senior management said that I was not going to get a raise.
Of course.
And the reason is that my colleagues, while we all have the same title, they have more job experience. And so
is that true?
My question is, where do I go from here?
Is that true?
They have more job experience externally, and then they transition in. They don't have as much tenure at the organization I work at. Yeah. But they do have more work experience in total.
Right. Okay, so bottom line is you're in state government, and I used to work for the Commonwealth of Virginia, okay?
Okay.
I worked there for a while. I know how state government works, certainly in the Commonwealth of Virginia. You have essentially just found out that you have a lid on you, a lid that you are unable to lift anytime soon. Would you agree with my assessment?
Yes.
So do you want to work in a place where you've got a lid on you that you can do little to nothing about?
Well, I enjoy where I work. And,
I didn't ask you that. I know. Listen, I know that I'm pushing you right now, but I want you to answer truthfully. We'll get to what to do, but we can't get to what to do until we really assess where we stand. Do you want to work in an organization where there is a lid on you that you can do little to nothing to lift?
No.
Good. I don't care if you like it. How much longer is it going to take for you to, when I ask that question, you immediately go no versus, well, I really like it? How many more months before it starts to really weigh on you?
Yeah, not many.
That's what I thought. So let's go ahead and embrace the suck now.
Right.
I'd start looking. Now, what do you want to do long term? Give me the quick answer to that question. What's to the best of your knowledge, and you don't have to give me a title, what do you want to do long term? And how does this play into it, this current job?
I would like to stay in fundraising, but probably be a manager to drive performance for the entire team.
Okay, great. And so a fundraiser outside of state government would be where?
Maybe a private foundation or nonprofit organization.
Yeah, why don't we start looking?
Okay.
You're not unstable, but your heart has already been wounded. It's not going to get better. So start looking today. And let's go find an organization where you can take that experience you have and all those metrics, by the way, and that needs to be front and center of anything you apply to. Here's what I've done in state government. Why do you want to come to us? Because I want to be able to grow, and state government is limited in what I'm going to be able to do. Get your narrative right. And go out there and find a gig where you're raising money for a cause that matters deeply to you. By the way, those things are out there. If you believe in yourself, go do that. Because I'm telling you, it's not going to get any better where you are, and it's only a matter of time before the resentment that you have, and by the way, it's understandable that you have it. But at some point, you got to get beyond being hurt. even though you should be hurt. You got to get beyond it, or else it's going to end up taking you out. So the clock is ticking. You know it. I know it. Get after it. You can't stay in that environment. You just can't, folks. And that's a tough situation where you got, a public organization where everybody's salaries are out there. Leaders, can I just tell you, if you would just every day, at some point, sit still long enough to engage with this thought, you'd be surprised at how good of a leader you'd be. Here's the thought. The people I'm leading, they have real thoughts and feelings. I need to be aware of that. I need to be aware that they're a person too, just like me. Some of the leadership decisions that are made are devoid of the human element. If you literally would look at a leader and go, flip the roles. What if you were on the other end of this decision? How would you communicate it? How would you want it communicated to you? I mean, just empathy, folks. Put yourselves in their shoes. I did not say that there won't be times in leadership where you got to make a tough decision. There's going to be a lot of those. But for crying out loud, put yourself in your people's shoes.